It's 12:59 and 55 seconds. Flip those headlights on. It's time for Nightdrive. Welcome to Nightdrive. I'm your host, Horace Wexler, and an intensely quiet whisper out there to all of you making your way through the night hours, sliding under the duvet of dusk, but not yet ready to lay your head on the moon's pillow. Maybe you're mashing one star and hosing down the back seat of your Prius after a lonesome rider painted the rear seat with used party sauce. A true artist with the spray, but you don't appreciate their masterpiece. Or maybe you're a political cartoonist, desperately trying to finish your cartoon featuring a caricature of our missing mayor holding a briefcase with a trail full of money as it follows him to Mexico for the morning edition of the Fakahatchee Gazette. Whoever you are, wherever you are, welcome. I will be your host this evening. Please join me as I prepare a masterpiece of local opinion in the medium of radio. Anything can be art, unless you get turned on by it, because that's called pornography. But surely through the power of mixology, a beverage can be art. And if you were to ask Tucker St. Clair, I'm sure he would agree with you. He's the creator of Scuddddd energy drink. That's Scud with 5 Ds. Scud. It's liquid fuel, and your mouth is a gas tank. Scud is a real success story, and it's made right here in Fakahatchee. So look out, duck winners. There's a new business boy in town. Because Tucker St. Clair is rapidly becoming the face of small business as he continues to build an empire. There's even some rumors that he might replace Robert Herjavec for an episode or two as one of the new sharks on Shark Tank. But some people are already worried about the runaway success of Scud, and others are questioning some of the side effects, and if this is even a beverage we should be drinking in the first place. Not me, though. Not me. So good. Have you tried Scud? Did it make you taste the refresh? Do you think kids should be allowed to drink it? What's your favorite flavor? Tonight I want to hear your thoughts on this frankly delicious and hyper-local beverage. Our number is 305-209-9686. This is Nightdrive. I'm Horace Wexler. I still remember my first Scud. I was leaving the studio around 1:45 a.m., making my way down to Key West for Fantasy Fest, which was supposed to start the next day. So at a late hour, I pull into Chudlett's Come and Pump. Of course, at that time, Chudlett's is closed, but I reached into the honor cooler and grabbed for what I thought was a soda. And what came out? Well, not a soda, but an ice-cold can of Scud. Sweating in that humid Florida air. Well, at this hour, I didn't care what it was, as long as it had caffeine. And boy, did that can let you know that the liquid contained within was excessively caffeinated. I can't remember the flavor for sure, but I think it might have been Hurricane Carnage, because I remember the can boasting that it was made from FEMA-provided emergency water and strained through an emergency tent to really bring out the starfruit flavor. I'll be honest, that first sip was like stepping off the top floor of a parking garage with my arm outstretched to shake hands with the ground. It was like my brain was being garroted with a wire made entirely of citrus. Well, an hour and a half later, I snap out of it, right at mile marker 84 across from Theater of the Sea. The Monroe County Sheriff is sitting behind me, and he says he clocked me doing 110 miles an hour. Now, that is an energy drink, my friends. Since then, I've been seeing Scud everywhere as it takes over the marketplace and pushes out its competitors like Blue Buffalo and Cryptozoic Energy. So tonight, let's talk Scud. Scud! It's in the zeitgeist. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions. 305-209-9686, just like this caller right here. Look out line 4. I'm coming over to you.
Hey, Horace. It's Luis Sanchez again. How you doing, buddy?
Luis, it's good to hear from you. Have you tried Scud?
Man, I tried that new drink, Scud. Man, one of my favorite flavors is kiwi and oak ash flavored.
I'll be honest, that one's not my favorite. I think it tastes a little bit like a tropical resort burning down. But have you tried any others?
I tried that new Tender Kisses one, and oh, baby.
Oh, that's the good stuff.
Man, I dreamt an alligator with a blonde wig came to pick me up for a date at the drive-in. But you know what? I was in my underwear.
Sounds like that gator saw your no-nos.
Anyway, man, there's that tender kisses one if you ask me.
Oh boy, I want to, Luis, but I physically cannot stop myself. But thanks so much for calling.
See you later, buddy.
We're going to keep the show rolling with even more of your calls and opinions, but right after this. Stick around.
Have you been wronged? This is Father Jonah Likely reminding you to take some time today to forgive. There's someone in your life that needs your forgiveness, whether it's someone who caused a problem for you or maybe you just need to forgive yourself. Colossians chapter 3, verse 13, forgive as the Lord forgave you. And then once you're forgiven, why not get your tushy down to our big fat mass this Friday? We got 2-for-1 drink specials, half-price lap dances, full-on confessions and forgiveness of sins. Come celebrate the bounties the Lord has given to Sister Charity and Sister Cashmere. They will hold you to their holy bosom as the Lord holds you to his. Also, you'll see exactly why the Lord needed a rest on that 7th day. It's because he spent the 6th chiseling out these abs on our boys. Find all the details and get your daily blessing at thespinctuary.net.
And of course, if you're listening and you want to call in and share your opinion with all the Fakahatchee that's awake right now, who knows how many that might be? 100,000? Who knows? Definitely not 100,000, but you could call in at 305-209-9686, just like 4 on line 4 over here. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Horace. Yeah, Horace.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. This is Steve Turd. I was just saying I want to call in. I was going to say I am a huge fan. Huge fan of Scud.
Well, I am too. It's Steve. How do you spell that last name?
It's with a B.
Got it.
It's TURDB.
Got it. So the B is kind of silent.
Yeah, be silent. Steve Turd.
Fantastic. Well, Steve, I'm going to just call you by your first name if you don't mind.
No, that's fine with me, Horace. That's fine with me.
I'm a huge fan of Scud also. What's made you such a fan of Scud?
Oh, man, I love Scud, man. I've tried all the flavors. Okay, my favorite is Dorito Fingers. I just think it's so good because I just love sucking on Dorito Fingers. I love sucking on Scud. Hey, you know what? One time, I even won a Scud contest.
No way. Really? What was the contest?
It was who could drink the most Scud, and I won.
Got it. How much did you drink?
I drank 62 cans of Scud in one sitting. Thank you very much.
Wow.
And I got like it because it gives me a lot. Scud gives me a lot of energy, and that's what I need. I need to do that energy because I'm it's hard work. I'm unemployed right now, so I'm in between things, but like I still work hard so I can play hard, and Scud allows me to play even harder. And the thing is, one thing I don't know if you get this, but I get this. You get hallucinations because I get so many hallucinations.
Yeah, we've had some people calling in. Apparently, there's a couple of flavors of Scud that seem to cause visual hallucinations. I guess purple, and then another flavor called Tender Kisses.
Oh, yeah, I've had Tender Kisses, right? Oh, man, I've deep-throated Tender Kisses. Yeah, one time I drank a can of that, and I swear to God, I thought God, was real. I thought I saw him, but it ended up being the Fakahatchee lobster man.
Really?
Yeah, it's a half man, half lobster hybrid.
Yeah. Can you describe him in any way?
Oh, absolutely, Horace. I could describe him in lots of different ways because I saw him. So he's kind of like a half lobster, half hybrid man. But he's actually, you think he would have the claws because he's a lobster, but actually that was the one thing he didn't have. He looked like a lobster, but he just had human hands for hands. And I got to tell you, Horace, that was way more unsettling than if I saw the claws.
Really? So like a crustacean with human arms?
Yeah, and the weird thing was that he was holding claw crackers.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, I kind of thought maybe he had a sense of humor, which I like.
Well, Steve, where were you when you had this hallucination?
Oh, I was out drinking Swamp Nest down by the swamp. Swamp Nest is one of the flavors.
I don't think I've tried that one. What's it taste like?
It just came out. It's real good. It tastes just like swamp water.
Yeah,
and it'll make your eyes roll back so far into your head you can see your brain.
I hope not. That would actually be terrifying.
Yeah, it's pretty fun because sometimes when I drink it, I think I'm going to die. And then I don't.
Well, that's great for me because obviously that allows you to call in.
That's the thing is how many drinks are out there that can actually make you touch the finger of God before you pull it back and realize I'm not ready yet. You ain't gonna get that from a can of Coke.
Yeah, like the fresco of Michelangelo at the top of the Vatican.
What the fuck's a fresco?
No, fresco.
Fresco or fresca?
Fresco.
Is that a flavor?
I don't think so. I would have to check their marketing. Let's go back to this hallucination real quick. Was the lobsterman doing anything? Was he just making his way through the swamp or?
Horse. So I saw the Fakahatchee lobsterman, and like I said, he had real human hands. You want to know what he was doing?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just building suspense. You want to know what he was doing?
What?
I thought he was jerking off, but he wasn't. Ain't that crazy?
Holding the lobster crackers?
Yeah, he just was holding the claw crackers, and he was just, at first I thought he was, doing that, but he wasn't. And I was like, oh, damn, that was a letdown. He was just sitting there, to be honest.
Yeah. Did he see you?
To be honest, Horace, I think I was actually projecting what I wanted to do onto him, which is, I was talking to my therapist about that, and that's something I've been working on, because it's like, I'm putting too much on other people sometimes when I really have to take responsibility for my own actions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's called, I think you may have already named it. I think that's called projection.
No, I don't think it's called that.
Okay. Well, you're working on it, so I would assume you would have a better idea.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll give you a call next week and let you know what it's called. I think it's called inspection, actually, but I'll double check on that and let you know.
All right.
Hey, if you want to come on over later, my buddies and I are going to meet up. We're going to have a Scud bucket party. It's where you drink Scud through your butt.
I
makes
think
it
I am
it even harder.
I thought I was the biggest fan of Scud, but apparently there are bigger fans out there. I think you've got me beat.
There's a new flavor out tonight that I'm really excited about. It's called Wood Finisher Cleaner. It tastes just like the stuff you used to polish hardwood floors. Exactly. It might as well be like they took the hardwood floor polisher and poured it into a can of Scud.
So like a hint of lemon and maybe some pine?
No, this lemon's going to smack you in the mouth till your teeth fall out, okay? It's not a hint. It's going to punch you in the face, let you know it was there. And listen, that's what I like about Scud. I like a drink that lets you know it's in your mouth.
Yeah. Water it can just get in your mouth sometimes, and it's so banal.
Scud is like Steve Buscemi in a movie. It's like, you're going to know he's there, okay? He just doesn't fall into the background. It's like, you see that face, damn, you're going to remember, okay? That's Scud.
I hope that...
That's like the worst thing that ever happened to you in your life, because you're going to remember it. Like the time my daddy left. And then he came back because he forgot his keys, and then he left for good. Yeah, second time he left was worse than the first time.
Steve, it definitely sounds like you're working through some personal issues, and I'm...
Oh, always, Horace. I'm a hot mess.
Well, I'm so glad that you've got the bold, fresh flavor of Scud to carry you through it. Scud tastes the introspection.
Oh, Horace, you just became my best friend. Okay, listen, come on by for my party a little later. I'll let you lick all my Dorito fingers. And I'm not talking about my can of Scud, okay?
That's very kind. Thank you very much, Steve. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye, Horace. Bye.
If you're just tuning in tonight, I'm very excited for this next caller, if he's who he says he is. Otherwise, you can give us a call at 305-209-9686. You're listening to Night Drive. Caller, go ahead.
Hey, am I on?
Yeah, you're live with Horace Wexler.
All right, man. That's what I'm talking about. It's been fucking St. Clair, man. I want to give a big shout out to you. Thank you so much. I'm the inventor of Scud. And you've been doing some good work for us, man. I appreciate you giving us a shout out.
Well, it's easy when it's a fantastic product like this. I don't normally drink on air, but it's I find it compulsive.
Man. It is definitely. It is so good. people say it is chemically addictive, but there is no conclusive proof that it is. Do you understand? I need to say that specifically. There is no conclusive proof that it is chemically addictive. It's really good, man.
Well, I just know how I feel when I'm drinking it, and generally that's better unless I'm not drinking it, in which case I feel terrible. But let's talk about you. Let's talk about your story. Obviously, Scuddddd, that's with 5 Ds, is blowing up here in Fakahatchee. Your story is very interesting. Your future also looks very interesting. Where were you when inspiration struck? How did this get started?
Oh, easy, man. I was coming off like a week-long bender on methamphetamine. Like I'll be honest with you. Like, I came from darkness. I had a bad addiction problem, but I stopped. I got cleaned up right around the same time that I ran out of money. So like, I was like, no more drugs, you know. And like, I woke up after like a meth bender, which we call a mender.
Mm-hmm.
Went to go take a piss. And I realized like, oh, that's right, man. I sold my toilet. And then I noticed like in the bathtub there was like this stuff. And I was like, oh, that's good. So like, I pissed out the window, and then I came back and I started looking at this stuff, and I realized like, I ain't got no refrigerator. So like, if I want something to drink, like, this is it. And I tell you what, man, like, it was great. Like, I drank that and I was like running around the room, you know, like I had all this energy. I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And, but I was like, all right, maybe this could be like a business. Like, I could be like a real entrepreneur, like the ShamWow guy, you know, but I had to test. I got to be smart about it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You got to test. You got to do your market research. But luckily, that exact same morning, some dudes came over to my house with some baseball bats because I owed them money. And I was like, whoa, before you do that, do me a solid. Why don't you check out this bathtub stuff? And they were like, what kind of bathtub stuff? Because, you know, it's Florida and there's lots of different bathtub stuff.
Yeah, you can even find a gator in a bathtub if you're not careful. I'd hate to drink that.
Been there, man. Been there. Sure, dude. But like, they had some of this bathtub stuff and they were like, oh, that feels really good. We have so much energy that we wouldn't play baseball, you know? So then I was figuring, I was like, you know what? I gotta figure out what this stuff is. Cause, you know, I made it, you know, during a blackout. Like, yeah. I was gone, man, but I was smart. So I like Inspector Gadgeted that shit. You know, like, I went through my garbage and was like, oh yeah, I still got this and I got this. So I put it all together and sure enough, I figured out the recipe, you know? And
mm-hmm.
I feel like what a lot of young entrepreneurs do, like, I put my drink into super soakers and then I went to a concert and I sprayed it into the crowd.
Right.
And some people caught that in their mouth. They're like, what is this? I got to get out. And I'm like, man, it's Scud, you know? And, and I thought, you know, Scud's like the most American thing. You know, Scud like took out Saddam Hussein. It took out Barack Obama. Like, it's made in America. It's Scud, you know?
Right.
And that's what sets us apart from these pages like the Monster, you know, Monster
mm-hmm.
energy drink. Like, what's that Monster? That's nothing. Scud's American, made here in America.
Then can I ask, was America Juice your first flavor? That's the one that's got a little bit of the ground up flag that was carried during Operation Desert Storm.
Yeah.
And also, I believe, green apple. Is that right?
Uh-huh. We have 75 flavors.
Wow.
Some of my favorites, you know, I don't want to brag too much. They are favorites at the White House. We got Gator Saver, which is made, it's got real bits of gator in it.
Mm-hmm.
We've got ass to mouth, which smells like ass, but then it tastes really good in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And then my favorite is purple.
Oh, that's fantastic. I know sometimes it's difficult for a parent to choose.
Oh, man.
What is it about purple
on.
that makes it your favorite?
Oh, you know what it is? It's like when you get done drinking it, like you've got so much energy, you know? Some people have reported, and I am not saying that this is on purpose, so legally speaking, I cannot get sued. Some people, you know, see things. Some would say hallucinations.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if you have ever been to Florida, you know, hallucinations are really welcome. Like, you go outside in Florida and you're like, I wish I was looking at something else. You know, and sure enough, man, you drink some purple Scud, phew, man, you're seeing like a hippo in a tuxedo, man, or like, you know, you're seeing like a black guy and a white guy like dancing together, you know, like feeling free, maybe for the first time ever, you know? Now,
I have to ask, Tucker, is this something you planned for when you mixed up purple?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. In no way, again, literally speaking, in no way did we plan for anyone to see anything when they were drinking purple. But I'm pretty stoked that it does. You know what I'm saying, man? Because we put in a couple of different things, and we had like a lot of lab mice died. Like they died like real bad. Like one of them turned himself inside out. Like we're not even sure how that's possible, but yeah, he did it. So, but anyway, then we refined it, like we tested it out, made sure it was okay. And then sure enough, man, you get purple scud.
Well, it seems like you've got a couple of those that are causing hallucinations. Now I know some of our audience is calling in to talk about your flavor Tender Kisses. That's, of course, the one that on your website, you advertise it for the ladies, which is the only reason I can think of that you put a skull on the can and had a snake coming out of the mouth.
We actually put the logo like that originally because it was legally toxic, but we took the toxic symbol, we kind of played around with it a little bit, made it kind of pretty. So like, hey, everybody, this is toxic. This is Tender Kisses right here. And sure enough, people still drink it. So like, it's okay.
So I know the health department with Tender Kisses, and they haven't issued any sort of report on Purple yet. Said it was something about mixing the lipstick with shelf stabilizers, and that's what's causing the hallucination effect.
Well, a lot of people think it's that, but I mean, honestly, like I tried it even without like the lipstick, and you still see some stuff. Like either way, you're getting yourself a trip, whether you want it or not. Like it's like the kind of sex you're getting in prison. Like, it's coming, son. Like, you just better bite your lip and get used to it. So, but it's, it's a fun time, Like, I'm born in America because I'm an American, not an American. You know what I'm saying, man?
Tucker, my producer, is signaling me to take a quick break for a commercial. I hope you'll stick with us over the ad break. And for those of you listening out there on the night, I hope you'll stick around, too. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, you squirt. I'm an algorithm-driven AI construct of military author Thomas Clancy. I don't eat because my body meat is rotten in a platinum box, and this is only an approximation of my conscience. But if I did eat, I'd lock and load one of these. Tom Clancy's Tactical Bananas. Other bananas better hit the dirt, because my Tactical Banana is gunning for them. They're holster size for when you need to take a snack on an op. That's short for operation, you communist. And you'll be one smooth operator when you unsnap the banana's bright yellow tactical jacket. It makes it easy to find in the dark and apply that sweet potassium rod to your chore hole. When you're done applying the Tactical Banana, the jacket converts to a throwable enemy irritant, sure to make those tangos slip up. We guarantee you'll rate this Tagnana a rainbow 6 out of 6. Tom Clancy's Tactical Bananas. Put it inside you, you pussy.
All right, welcome back. Let's get right back into it. With me is Tucker St. Clair, the inventor of Scuddddd energy drink. Tucker, there's a number of other energy drinks on the market. You've mentioned Monster. Obviously, Cryptozoic Energy is another big one. What's Scud's secret? What is the special sauce that makes Scud so special?
You know what makes Scud different is that it was built with the community involved. All right, it's that community love that when people drink it, they will taste that. And let me tell you a quick story. I had some bad times starting off when I was doing Scud, and when I took the Super Soaker, and I sprayed it into that crowd, like. Just like always, like most of the people loved it. And then there was one guy that got blinded. He can't see anymore. And it was a whole legal thing. And we had to put a label on the can that says, do not put Scud in your eyes. It will blind you. So that's on there forever now. And I thought that was it. I thought Scud was done, and then I was going to have to go back to like selling bootleg tape. But like, then you know what? Our community rallied. And I went to Louis Vominos, because he's my boy. He's the mayor now, but like I knew Screwy Louis back in the day, man. Like, and we used to go to concerts together. We go to like all the classics. So, like we was like Puddle of Mud and Korn and Limp Bizkit, just like all the good ones. And I went to him and I was like, dude, I think this is all over because a couple things. One, I got the prosecution against me. And also it's just like the demand I can't meet because I was making Scud for the first couple of years in the same bathtub.
Oh, wow.
And I just couldn't keep up with the demand. Yeah. And because, it was my lucky bathtub, like it was like, this is where it started. And this is a place that my lease isn't up yet. So like, I got to make it here. And I went to him and I said, I need $37,000. And you know what he said to me? He said, done.
Wow.
He didn't give me any money, but he gave me a really big bathtub, and it was like had jets in it and stuff. And so that's how I was able to get out from underneath all that. Like, I just was able to cook up huge batches, and I think it was the community rallying around. And also, two of the witnesses for the prosecution got run over by trucks. So, like, they did not have a case after that. And I was like, oh, America! You know, if you just believe and you work hard enough, and it's like, if there's not enough safety regulations on trucks, like, you can do it, man. You can make it in this world, man.
That sounds like a real blessing. Hang on just a second. Sorry. I'm just having a little bit of your Chernobyl crush. You know it, but if you haven't tried it, it's melon flavored. It's got a little green apple to give it some zinc. And I mean, I got to be honest, Tucker, I love that it glows in the dark. Like the phosphorus that you put in there, it's right on.
Let me tell you something too. Like that was another one. That was another one right there. It's just like it was an accident, you know, like us figuring that stuff out. Like I was in Tallahassee, like on vacation, and sure enough, there are these guys doing there from like Colombia, and you know we were hanging out. You know we were doing some stuff, and so anyway, long story short, it's like 4 a.m, and if we don't find this guy's keys, you know, like some fools are going to get shot. So we didn't have anything to use as a light. And so sure enough, there was like these phosphorescent like cockroaches that live in Tallahassee. And we put them in a bottle, and then we could actually use it as lantern. And I was like, wait a minute, this stuff would be good in Scud. And so, yeah, like I had like some of the employees and my mom go up to Tallahassee and get these bugs and bring them back. And then we started doing experiment after experiment. And sure enough, we got Chernobyl out of it, baby.
Well, it's great. I love a drink that I can find in the dark.
That's right. That's right. You know, and that's all American. That's all American right there.
So, Tucker, obviously, tons of highs and lows when you own your own business. At least that's what Jeff Bezos has said in his audiobooks that are read by other people. Are there any particular highs or lows that, I mean, you've talked some about the lows that you've experienced, but I guess what's in the future for Tucker?
You know how they say the sky's the limit?
Yes, I've heard that.
The sky's too small for Tucker St. Clair, all right? We're going to go bigger than that. Because it's like, yeah, like I feel like we did Scud, you know, we got Scud, like that's our base. But what's next? Track suits. Okay, we conquer track suits. What's after that? I don't know. How about bucket hats? And then like, okay, cool. Now I got something in my head. What about next? Athletic women's shoes. You know, like we got like I got so many things in the works right now. Like, let me ask you something. Like gasket pads. Scud gasket pads. Would you buy that? I
think so. If it shows the ingenuity that Scud is shown in the drink market, I have to imagine that that's going to be something that I absolutely have to have.
Okay, good. Because I'm literally writing that down right now. So it's good. Gasket pads. Okay, but yeah, like I mean, there's so many different places you can go, and the great thing too about you know, being the size company that Scud is, that, you know, we can kind of go international now, man. Like, you would be amazed in, like, Eastern Bloc Europe, like, just how relaxed their EPA standards are, you know, and, like, the amount of stuff that you can put into drinks and that people can legally buy, like, it's crazy, man. So, like, I'm going international, baby. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking America all around the world, you know, and giving them a little taste of Scud.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for calling in, Tucker. Is there anything you'd like to say before we let you go?
Yes, thank you very much for giving me this platform. I would like to say that Puddle of Mud is the most underrated band of ever.
Thanks for calling in, Tucker.
All right, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you. God bless.
Do we need to take another break? No? All right. Well, we're going to keep this moving, so let's go straight to line 2. Line 2, give me your name and your Scud story.
Hi, Horace. My name is David Williams, and I was walking right past one of Duck Winter's alligator farms the other day. It was a hot day, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to try one of Scud's Tender Kisses.
It sounds to me like someone is about to love that lipstick and wild cherry flavor.
I know straight away it really tastes how I feel, but my God, when I looked behind me, I saw Anna Kendrick with her entire leg inside an alligator's mouth in the middle of the road.
Holy hell, what did you do?
They both kind of stared at me and stopped, like I had just interrupted something. So it seemed consensual, and I was fine with that. And to be honest, drink might be the best drink I've ever had. Thank you very much, Horace. Bye.
Thanks for calling in, David. If you want to share your Scud story, you know what to do. Give me a call at 305-209-9686. All right, before we take more of your calls and get some more of those tasty opinions of yours, we've got just a few Fakahatchee community announcements to get through before we get back to the show. Hank's Old Arby's would like to extend its condolences to Chuck Robinson, who was beaten savagely with a piece of wood from a broken pallet and then choked to death with a bike chain by soccer coach Mickey O'Mann in last Wednesday night's Boomer Brawl. Hank's Old Arby's has always referred to the Boomer Brawl as a fight you'll never forget, but it shouldn't be because you watched a man defecate as he passed from this world into the great beyond. Chuck was a hell of a fighter and a pretty good insurance salesman. He leaves behind an almost restored cherry red 1969 Pontiac GTO and no family members. From all of us here at Hank's Old Arby's, Hank, you will be missed. The fountain at Oswald Memorial Park will be shut this weekend to deal with an infestation of murder geese. The city council understands that your weekend plans might be disrupted, but argue the murder geese need to be handled swiftly before they multiply. The public is advised to steer clear of both the murder geese and the dynamite. If you should make eye contact with a murder goose, immediately break its gaze and attempt to make your neck as short as possible, so it doesn't consider you a threat or challenge you for alpha status. Do not move away quickly. Do not attempt to punish or chide the murder geese. Remember this acronym to stay safe. MURDER. Murder geese understand retribution. Do engage restraint. Thank you. Little League registration is now open for the spring season. Registration must be received by June 1st. Registration after that date may result in the inability to play and or delay in receiving your appropriate team shirt/hat. You can find all of the details at the Fakahatchee Parks and Recreation webpage. Reminder that we're always looking for umpires, and while we'll consider all applications, it would be best if you're not visually impaired. All right, that's the Fakahatchee community announcements. Let's get right back to your calls and opinions right now. All right, let's pop over to line 2. Line 2, go ahead.
My man Horace, this is Gordon Ashley giving you a call.
Thanks for calling in tonight, Gordon. Do you have a favorite flavor?
I tried that new Tender Kisses, and I could swear that I saw a leprechaun riding a unicorn, blasting off into space, screaming out, "Where's me gold?"
I have to say, Gordon, that's probably the first leprechaun cosmonaut I've ever heard of. That's pretty crazy.
It was the craziest thing I ever saw. I'm gonna go out and get a 6-pack and hopefully see that little unicorn and find that pot of gold.
Well, Gordon, if you find it, I certainly hope you'll call us back and tell us where it was.
Well, that's all for now, Horace.
Thanks for calling. If you're just joining us tonight, we're talking about Scud. That's Scud with 5 Ds. Let's go over here to line 3. Line 3, go ahead.
Evening, Horace.
Hi. Who is this?
This is Dr. Leonard Scroggins.
Hey.
Leonard Skinny. You might hear me called.
Thanks for calling in, Dr. Skinny.
Yeah, that's right, Dr. Skinny. It's my pleasure. I'm up on call anyway, so I'm just sitting by the phone listening to your program.
Wait a minute. That name's very familiar to me. Why have I heard your name before, sir?
Well, have you ever been to the doctor? There's not a lot of us around in these parts, so I'm the local physician, and on many a healthcare board. So you would have seen my name. You'll see it on a plaque. Read it in the paper.
Oh yeah. Mayor Luis Vominos, I think, put you in charge of the health board for Fakahatchee.
That's right. Indeed, he did.
Well, I'm honored to have you calling in tonight, sir.
Well, that's the pleasure is all mine.
So this is a really unique experience to get sort of a healthcare provider's opinion on Scud in general.
It seemed like it was needed. It was my thinking before I placed the call.
Do you? I guess I'll just ask flat out. Do you support the citizens drinking this product?
Horse, I do not support it. I encourage it. encourage the use of this particular beverage.
Or is it because there's benefits, or why might that be?
Well, it is the health benefits. If you are not aware, but I'm sure you are, there is an obesity crisis, not just in this country, but in this county, in this city, in this town. And so when I hear other healthcare, so-called healthcare experts down talking this particular beverage, the side effects of which are more energy, I can't help but feel a little bit dismayed, because more energy, as you know, leads to more activity and therefore the subsequent and much needed weight loss.
So you're almost viewing Scud as like a weight loss supplement.
But even more healthy, because those weight loss supplements, they do the calorie burning all on their own. That is not what God intended when he gave us the control over our bodies and image. With Scud, you gain the energy with which you do the moving and therefore shed the weight.
So you're saying that like this is an improvement over weight loss supplements because you're actually moving those muscles and
exactly
doing
right.
those energies.
That is exactly right.
I guess, Dr. Leonard, does that extend to, I don't know, fidgeting, constant adjusting of the self?
It is as though you read my mind. Because let's imagine if you were, and maybe perhaps you have the occasional truck driver that listens to your program, and if my words are falling on those ears, imagine if you work in a situation in which you are sedentary, and then all of a sudden you have taken an energy drink, and after which you cannot help but kick your legs about and tap your wheel, you are burning calories while you sit.
Well, that's fantastic because as a radio host, I'm mostly sitting in here for a lot of my night shift. And
get yourself a Scud.
Oh, I've got one right here, sir. I'm glad that I'm being healthy.
You might as well be at the gym right now, Horace.
Well, can I ask you, Dr. Scroggins, or sorry, Dr. Skinny, do you drink Scud?
I do. I absolutely do. How do you think I'm feeling so good and so lively here at such a late hour?
I love it.
I've got my legs up and they're kicking about. I'm working out.
I love a doctor that takes his own advice. Do you have a favorite flavor of Scud?
Ooh, fine question. I like what's the Saudi
Saudi Sunset.
That's right, the Saudi Sunset. I do enjoy it so. I do enjoy it so much.
That one is that one's not my favorite, I'll be honest. But it is very authentic, sort of exotic flavor that the sand gives it.
Yeah.
But mostly I don't like the grapefruit in it.
I like the tart. I like the tangy tart.
Well, to each his own, Doc. So we've talked a little bit about the health benefits of Scud as a whole. Now, I know you're not a scientist. Are doctors scientists?
Doctors are scientists in that we know about science.
Can you give any sort of explanation to why some of the more specific flavors of Scud, like purple and tender kisses, might cause some people to hallucinate?
Mm-hmm. Well, as I spoke about with the energy that ramps up within, when you ingest certain flavors, the energy, which is a chemical, energy is a chemical produced by the brain. It flows through, let's call them different channels, different brain trenches. Mm-hmm. And so when you are able to influence the passage of the energy within the brain and how it gets either to, let us say, the muscles in the feet or the seeing instruments within the eye, that is what will affect and perhaps cause any sort of hallucination, which in my professional and one might say expert opinion, is completely fine, health-wise.
I'm obviously not as learned as you are, Doctor. But let me just see if I'm following this. Is what you're saying that the hallucinations are caused because the muscle energy, instead of going to like the leg muscles, is ending up in the eye energy slot?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, more or less. Mm-hmm.
Got it. And is there any sort of benefit to these hallucinations? Would you say that they're positive across the board?
I would say they're good for you in that you are working the mind, which is also another way to burn the calories. And I think it is, a means of avoiding Alzheimer's is to learn new things, to, do crossword puzzles and study and activate the brain. And so to have a hallucination, be it induced by an energy drink or the grips of a high fever, I believe to be good in the long term.
Got it. So the stimulus of the hallucinations helps feed the brain muscle.
That's right. Feed the brain muscle and thereby burning calories and making your brain stronger longer.
Oh, I love cheers to that, Doc.
Cheers to that. I'm eating a taco right now, a Mexican taco.
Are there health benefits to the taco, or are you just snacking?
No, I'm just snacking. I'm very hungry.
You seem to be very positive about the product in general, sir. Do you receive any sort of kickback or considerations?
Nope. Horse, my kickback comes from seeing fewer patients with cardio issues, and therefore I am merely advising people to be healthy, to shed those pounds, and I do not, Mr. Sinclair does not line my pockets. I take plenty of money from the insurance, and I'm here to simply advocate the use of a product by which I stand.
Doctor, thank you so much for calling in tonight. Is there anything, any health tips that you'd like to share with Fakahatchee, maybe before I let you go?
I would say don't ride bicycles.
Bicycles, really?
In my experience, I've seen bicycle accidents worse than the benefits of riding that bicycle.
Wow, I never would have guessed. Well, there you go.
Yeah, it's too fast for the human body.
What is the limit to how fast the human body can move?
Is 10 to 12 miles per hour.
And obviously, like when we're in a car, the car is taking the brunt of that force. But when we're outside, I got it.
Yes, and there's a seat belt inside that vehicle, which you cannot strap a seat belt over your chest in a bicycle. It would be nonsense.
Is it the speed of the wind pressing on the skin that causes the issues with the bicycle?
That's part of it, but also more than that is the impact of your body against the cement.
Well, thank you so much, Doctor, for calling in tonight. Obviously, we love to have a informed opinion, especially on a product that seems to really be sweeping across Fakahatchee.
I hope the sweep continues. Get out there and enjoy your Scud, everybody.
Thank you, Dr. Scroggins.
My pleasure.
Before we jump into more of your calls, for whatever reason, some of our listeners can't make it to the phone tonight, and if you can't either, you can always hit us up on social media to share your thoughts and opinions. Jules Wallaby tweeted at us at Nightdrive FM to say, "Thought I had an extra Scud in my fridge, but my roommate drank it. Now I've got the Scud shakes, and I can't leave the house because of my ankle monitor. I'm in pretty bad shape here. Can you help me?" Thanks for tweeting at us, Jules. Gorig Hallup hit up our Facebook page at facebook.com/NightDriveFM to say, "I've never tried Scud. I'm more of a cryptozoic energy fella. The brash branding of Scud turns me off, and frankly, I don't much care for chunks and grit in my beverages. Different strokes for different folks. And by strokes, I mean anyone who drinks Scud can drop dead. Always nice to have a differing opinion. Thanks, Gorig." And Scallop Hunter 29 tagged at Nightdrive FM Insta in a photo of a hand holding a can of Scud with the comment, "My favorite flavor is Dinkridge, Alaska. The cool blast of mint partnered with CBD oil keeps me going throughout the day. Hashtag health." Thanks, Scallop Hunter 29. Feel free to reach out on the social networks if you can't get through on the phone lines for whatever reason. Maybe you couldn't afford your phone this month, but we're glad that you can afford the radio. Here's how we afford things. It's a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
Scent can drive our mood. When placed into a candle, a scent can take us to the past, or when lit with a crystal ball and other reagents, it can show you elements of the future, and also sometimes make a very sad boy with cute eyes love you in spite of his parents who hissed at you to leave his grandmother's funeral because you were smiling too much. Also, a witch likes to smell nice and smell nice things. We've got all your favorite visions and smells at I Sense Things. Scents like honey thistle and blossom, smoked sage leaf, dewdrop nude, night love, good chowder, glistening rose, murder bomb, and pumpkin spice. We're run by a lesbian witch commune, so please remember, no men in the store for purity reasons, please. Boys, don't scry. I Sense Things. Candles, visions, sisterhood.
So let's jump right back into your calls. Let's go right to line 6. Line 6. Go ahead.
Hey, guy. It's Timothy Chuchenberg.
Hey, how are you tonight, Timothy?
Oh, yeah. I'm good, spent the day working in the garden. We just got another Cadillac sprouting up from the ground, so we're just getting it situated, getting the crane out of there.
So you work over at
I work at Cardin's. I guess if anyone doesn't know, that's the place that's got all the rear ends of cars coming up out of the ground, so they look like big plants, or like a bunch of cars fell from the sky and crashed into the ground. Like when you throw a knife straight down into the dirt and the knife sticks, and you're like, yeah, badass. You can see part of it from the highway, but it's way bigger on the inside.
That's great. Well, I'm excited to have you call in tonight.
Excited to make it on the show.
Right. Okay. Well, we're talking about Scud energy drink tonight. Scud, it's better in you.
God, I love Scud. It's hard for me to pick a favorite flavor. I know other people have been calling in, but it's just harder for me.
Right. Well, I think they probably...
my work has started testing for it,
testing to see if you drink Scud.
Yeah. I mean, we work with big equipment, so I get it. It's not all Scud. It's just, I call them the forbidden flavors, but, work names them more specifically. But can I tell you a funny story here, Horace? It's exactly the type of thing that you've been talking about. I think your audience would just...
Sure. Let's hear it, Timothy.
Right. Okay. So, obviously, some of these flavors give you a little something extra besides energy, right?
And you're referring to the hallucinations?
Hallucinations. Yeah. So some people are drinking the purple, and others are having the tender kisses. Ones, right? Get this. I mixed them. Oh, boy.
Mixed them, Timothy. I got to be honest, that's probably dangerous.
No, I did it. I was waiting for my laundry to be done, right? Over at the Scuddddd before they closed it, and I bought 2 bottles, and, curiosity gets the better of a boy, and for the record, I'm a grown adult, but I was wondering how the two would taste together, and so I mixed them, and whoa, boy, it's stronger than the sum of its parts, Like, let me think, what's a strong thing?
Hey, Timothy, we get it.
Right, oh, okay, so, yeah, you get it. So So I'm sitting there on the curb, and I'm looking over at the Shoney's that's been closed, and there's nothing. And then all sorts of wild lights inside, like someone's invented a portable laser Floyd show or turned it into a discotheque, and I don't know, just like too many car lights at once when you're doing a 360 because you're going the wrong way on the Tamiami Trail. And this was a couple of weeks ago, and well, that's an important part of that. Are you still there?
Yeah, we're still here.
Right, I'm staring at these lights inside of there, waiting for my pants to dry. Yeah, I mean, I like to separate my pants from my shirt because I don't feel like they get along. Like pants seem more blue collar to me than shirts. Like I could easily see shirts kind of looking down on pants, even though pants are doing the heavy lifting.
Timothy, can you get back to the lights?
Of course. Right. So, all of a sudden, there's this bright flash inside the Shoney's. I swear to God, it was so bright. Like, feeling it in the back of your eyeballs bright, and then, woof, suddenly everything's dark. Like, there's no light whatsoever. Like, there's no power. Because I can't hear my pants load running in the dryer and soaking suds. So, I'm thinking, dang it, Timothy, I'm going to have a wet Johnson, pardon my French, if I don't get these pants dry. And then I hear someone scream, like blood curdling. And then someone else yells, Jesus Christ. And here's me thinking the Shoney's is empty. But, like, maybe they opened it and I didn't hear about it. And then the door flies open and all of a sudden there's a bunch of people dressed all in white pouring out of the Shoney's, pushing like, what do you call those hospital rolly things? Like a
stretcher, like a gurney.
You betcha, a gurney. And I couldn't see what was in the gurney because it was covered with a blanket, probably a man, but it's screaming like when you've accidentally popped a baby rabbit with the lawnmower because you weren't being careful. And suddenly all these big cars roll up and men with suits jump out and they put the whole whatever on the gurney in the back of a Lincoln Suburban. And then I catch eyes with one of the suit men, and he looks at me, and I like fall into his eyes, right, like deep pools and all that, and he starts walking toward me, and he's in no rush. He's getting closer and closer, one foot in front of the other. Meanwhile, in the background, people are yelling and pointing fingers at each other like real mad, and some of them aren't speaking English, but you can tell they're mad too, and finally, suit guy, he gets at me. He reaches into his jacket and...
Mm-hmm. And then what happened, Timothy?
Well, that's it. Well, I wake up in my own bed like nothing ever happened.
Ah, that's a wild story. Maybe you shouldn't mix the flavors anymore.
No, wait. But then I started looking around my house, and you know what, Horace? There's no pants.
Well, they're probably just
I
down
know
at
what you're going to say, probably at the soaking suds. Better go down there, wrapped in a towel for obvious reasons, but there's nothing. Where's my load, huh? There's no pants. Where are the pants, Horace?
Wow,
where are the pants?
That's a crazy story. Thank you so much for sharing it with us, Timothy.
Where
my
are
producer
the
is
pants?
desperately waving at me that that's all the time we have for tonight. Boy, that really went fast. The lines are now closed, and my producer is already walking through the station and shutting the lights off in the building. If you didn't get a chance to share your opinion with me tonight, I do hope you'll try again in the future. We'll hear you later. If you enjoy the show, please consider reviewing and giving us 5 stars on iTunes. Or better yet, tell an enemy you absolutely hate about the show to trick them into listening just to spite you. 1 in the morning is a hell of a time slot to bring in new listeners, even though half the town isn't sleeping anymore. You can reach the show on Twitter at Nightdrive FM, on Instagram at Nightdrive FM Insta, or at Facebook.com/Nightdrive FM. If you really love the show, why not become one of our patrons and support the show at Patreon.com/Nightdrive. That'll give you access to our Discord, where we post important info for lightning callers who'd like to call into the show. Plus, we do a running gift tournament, and frankly, it's just been a really nice community to have as we end up further and further entrenched in our houses. Sometimes you get access to an additional show called Dinosaur. That's the only podcast about 1990s fever dream that was ABC's sitcom Dinosaurs. Frankly and honestly, I'm very slow on making it because sometimes It's just like real depressing out there, you know? And sometimes, from time to time, you'll get a nice little physical surprise that some of our fans got earlier this year. Night Drive is produced by Michael Trulli and is hosted with Moxie by me, Horace Wexler. The callers were ably played with Piss and Vinegar by Evan Gaustad, Eric Toms, and Ron Babcock. I'd like to thank our lightning callers, John Martinez Jr., Nathan Greenaway, and Drew Inns. And a very special thank you to our musical guests, local jam band, Captain Ass, and the Exclamatory Boom. That's all for us here at Night Drive this evening. Tonight, as we lay in our beds with eyes that refuse to close from all the liquid caffeine we've drunk, I'm sure we'll have a lot of strange thoughts. Just remember, those are only waking dreams. Good Morning Sunbuns with Tiffany Bunzell takes over at 6 a.m. On tomorrow's show, Tiffany's showing the dangers of drunk driving firsthand by bringing you behind the scenes as her lawyers plan the defense of her DUI case. Until then, here's 4.5 hours of government-mandated buzzing I just can't say no to. Until next time, I'm Horace Wexler. Keep night driving.